Extra Credits was recently involved in a bit of drama. They put out a video saying that if you played games with Nazis in them, you were more likely to become a Nazi in real life. This is exactly the same as the old arguments from the 90s saying that games would turn people into killers. Only instead of violence, it's Nazis, and instead of desensitization, it's normalization. Same general meaning, same general arguments. As a result of this, their fan base has been turning against them. And it's at this point I put on my black lensless hipster glasses and get to say that I was hating Extra Credits before it was cool to hate Extra Credits. Except not really, since I don't own any hipster glasses and I'm nowhere near that pretentious. But it is true that I've never really liked Extra Credits. And in a way it's strange that this video is the tipping point, because the problems with this video are the problems that Extra Credits has had since the beginning. If you want to say you don't like Extra Credits because this video was wrong or dumb, well, there's loads of Extra Credits videos that are wrong or dumb. Just look at the Spectrum Crunch video for one example. If you say it's because of the drama and their treatment of fans, then that's nothing new either. Look at the I Hear What I Hear drama back when they picked a fight with Total Biscuit. But these things aren't a problem on their own. These are symptoms of the larger problems that I have with Extra Credits. Now, a lot of this I covered in my basic bitch video in a more generic way. So a lot of this information is going to be the same and with less polish, since I don't have a script for this video. But this one is going to be more about Extra Credits specifically, but if you've seen the basic bitch video, you've seen most of what I'm going to talk about here. The first problem is James's credibility is non-existent. He claims to be a famous AAA game designer, but there's no evidence that he's ever worked on anything. He said he's worked on Call of Duty, but his name's not in the credits, and he hasn't provided any proof to corroborate his claim. The only game that he seems to be credited on is a phone game that is no longer available, and I don't think it was available when Extra Credits started getting big. So he claims to have worked on all this stuff, but there's no evidence other than James's word, which is kind of sketchy at best. Now, being a game designer doesn't make him any more or less right about any particular thing. The problem with him claiming to be a game designer, though, is when that credibility is used to prop up their weaker arguments. But without that credibility, or without those credentials, those arguments instantly collapse. I've made little games and mods, and there's a mod out there you can download and play. That alone makes me 1,000 times more credible than James. But 1,000 times 0 is still 0. Unless you're talking about, say, the practical realities of making a game versus what most people assume, being an actual game designer doesn't give your arguments any more or less weight. In theory, you should be able to convince people of your point through logic, evidence, or just good arguments. But let's take James at his word and say that he is an accomplished AAA game designer. So okay, he's this pro dev, he's got a phone book full of contacts, he knows how best to run a business, he knows how best to make the games deep and interesting and good. Why doesn't he make a game? I'm sure Extra Credits could have raised a bit of money. They've got a popular YouTube channel, they've got these connections, both in the industry and in the press. I'm sure they could have got something together and made a game. While doing research for this video, I did learn that apparently one of the bits of drama that Extra Credits was involved with was an alleged crowdfunding scam. From what I understand is that they wanted to raise 15 grand for their artists' medical expenses. And they raised this money, in fact they raised over 100 grand, and they paid for the medical expenses, and then James pocketed the rest to start a game studio. I don't know if any of that's true, but if he did start a game studio, where's the game? Like 80 grand? Like, where is it? Where's this game? Again, he knows the best business practices. He knows how to make the best games, if you believe his videos. So where's the game? Problem 3. Hubris, ego, and ideology over facts. I know it sounds like 3 different things, but they all stem from the same basic thing. Extra Credits is never wrong, and if you disagree with them, then clearly you're a Nazi or a bigot or whatever. A great example of this that isn't the Nazi video would probably be the Gamergate video. They were strongly anti-Gamergate, but this was despite the obvious cases of corruption on the part of games journalists. But I'm sure it's just a coincidence that one of their friends also happened to be one of the most corrupt game journalists. And related to this is their general lack of principles. They go with whatever argument is the most convenient, which can lead to them contradicting themselves. They will make a video saying how games should never cave to controversy, only to then turn around and say that games they don't like World War II games with Nazis in them, should cave immediately when faced with controversy. But the final problem I want to talk about is the one I talked about a lot in my Basic Bitches video, and that is the lack of insightful or unique commentary. Now, an opinion doesn't have to be unique to have any kind of value. Look at this video, for example. It's basically a repeat of what I've said before, and at the same time, there's probably lots of other YouTubers out there who have said they don't like extra credits, and they've probably done a better job than me. There's loads of ways to handle it. It could be well explained, well researched, or simply entertaining. But extra credits doesn't do that for me. In my opinion, their videos are often boring, filled with game developer jargon in an attempt to sound smart. At best, they offer nothing of real substance, and at worst, they actively misinform, such as the Spectrum Crunch video, or bring up stupid arguments that have been debunked long ago, like the aforementioned Nazi video. And that Nazi video, it's no different from all the others. I've mentioned a few examples earlier on, but that's the thing. I guess it's a good thing that people are jumping ship from extra credits, but at the same time, this Nazi video doesn't do that much that's different from all of their previous videos. It's just that for whatever reason, this video annoyed more of their fans than usual.